Hello, and welcome to episode 92 of the Book Wars pod. Kate's already just screaming into her hands, so it's going to be a great show. I'm Chris, here with, as always, with my co-hosts, Kate, Kristen, and Miranda. How's everybody doing?
Well, you already said how I'm doing, didn't you?
Besides screaming, yeah.
Yes.
My parents are gone.
Woo!
So you're doing great. Excellent. Glad to hear it.
I was asleep. Miranda woke me up.
She sure was. Not much has changed before recording any episode of the podcast ever.
Unless I haven't read. I finished reading a little early today.
Proud of you.
So I took a nap.
Proud of you.
To be fair, a half an hour ago, I was also sleeping and had not eaten dinner, so it's
Sleeping
fine.
is important.
Sleeping is great.
Eating is also important, I've heard.
That's what they say.
Okay, to be fair, so as of recording, it is Chris's birthday, and he told me that I'm not allowed to tell him to fuck off on the pod tonight.
No, this is canon. You all have to be nice to me.
Oh my god. So I was like, guess I better nap so I can be maybe a little bit less angry.
I don't understand why
You
we
all
have to be nice
to
you.
me. It's birthday rules.
Is it?
You just made that up.
Is that my gift to you for your birthday?
Not telling him to fuck off.
Unless you got me something else.
Oh my god.
Well, I
Wait,
didn't.
I literally
Yeah,
got
right?
I literally got you a present. Can I tell you to fuck off?
No.
Oh my god.
I don't think we have to listen to him.
I mean, I just want to pull up a quote from a respected Twitter personality earlier today.
My god.
At It's Keeks says, "Happy birthday to Chris Cedar, one of only a few people I actually like," with emojis that I can only assume translate to blah blah blah.
That's correct. Those are what those emojis mean.
Oh.
I hope that you trip over a door jamb and stub your toe.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Damn.
Birthday.
Well, good feeling gone.
Fuck, that was violent. Even I am shocked. Shocked, I say.
I told him not to bring it up.
I mean-
I told you I would. So like we're both true to our word.
At an impasse. Are you
Um,
drinking birthday drinks?
so angry.
We are finishing up actually the last of our tealing from when we went over to the Emerald Isle last year.
Chris.
From Christopher.
Sorry, I was looking into the kitchen where the bottle of tealing no longer is because we finished it.
Chris, don't look anywhere.
Look right into the microphone's butthole. What? Is that another thing other people say?
No, I'm pretty sure that's standard podcast advice.
Microphone's butthole.
Sorry, I was saying we're drinking the last of our tealing single malt, which is Irish whiskey. Very light, but since it's a single malt, a little on the heavier side for an Irish whiskey, even though it's triple distilled. It's much
I don't know
richer.
What that means is the more it's distilled, the lighter it is.
So the more it's distilled, so basically for hard liquor, distilling is what gets, as I'm sure you know, and I don't mean that patronizingly, but like
I literally asked.
In
You're
case our
good.
listeners don't know, distilling is the process by which you get the impurities that are originally in the water out of it, and then so you basically boil it to the point where alcohol becomes steam, but water does not. That steam goes through a series of pipes into a new distiller, and then that happens. Traditionally, whiskey is twice distilled. I don't know about gin, so Kate, you may know more on that.
I think it's 3, but
Yeah.
don't quote me on that.
That would make sense for gin, but so for
'Cause-
whiskey, since whiskey has basically
His shit in
whiskey
it that
distillers
does
have
flavor.
always been, there have always been very extra.
Yes.
And so like for something like vodka or gin, you want to distill it more because you just want it to be really pure, and then you like kind of put the botanicals in after.
Right. So, or
For gin.
with vodka. Yeah, exactly.
Or with vodka, you don't.
Basically, the more... It makes sense. The more crap you take out, the cleaner it tastes.
Yeah, so basically every time you distill something, some of the flavor goes out. And it becomes purer, but it also becomes pure alcohol, so it like you can't really taste the flavor. So most whiskey is twice distilled. Most whiskey, including notably all Scotch, because Irish whiskey is 3 times distilled, as far as I can tell, just so they could do it one more time in Scotland.
Okay.
And so
Literally,
Irish
that is
whiskey-
what we were told. Like we were like they were
that
like,
makes sense.
we do it this many times, and they're like, but like, and we were at the distillery, and we're like, but why? And they were like, because we're Irish, and we were like,
Yeah.
okay.
Not Scottish.
Fuck
No,
yeah,
like literally,
basically.
literally, Irish whiskey has to be legally triple distilled
Yeah,
to be
like,
called Irish
I'm
whiskey.
not kidding.
And so,
Okey-dokey.
as a result, Irish whiskey is often lighter in taste. If you think about something like a Jameson versus something like certainly a bourbon, but also like if you're a Scotch drinker, something like a Lagavulin or something like that.
I would never think about a Jameson because it tastes like butt.
I mean, if you have to have a cheap whiskey, Jameson, you could do worse than Jameson
Just don't drink-
because it tastes light because it's been triple distilled.
Or
Anyway,
you could have Bushmills and be a jerk.
yeah, we could have Bushmills and be mad racist. Apparently, Bushmills very politically active in Northern Ireland. It would appear.
Did you say they're racist?
Yeah, yo.
Or-
we can have a bonus app on the fucking Irish.
They're really
like,
just racist. Anyway, go
The
on.
troubles. Anyway.
Okie dokie.
But point being, this single malt, this Irish single malt, which in itself is somewhat unique, is heavier than you would expect for an Irish whiskey. And it's kind of got like chocolatey notes to it, more of those like kind of deeper, richer notes than as opposed to like fruitier notes, which is usually what you get from an Irish whiskey.
And now you know.
That's exciting.
Now we know.
Chris, don't we have a listener who's in Scotland? We're getting in trouble.
Why? I love Scotch. It's just different.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
I love
I hope.
Scotch.
Anyway. But
I
yeah,
really
no.
want to go to Scotland because I have not been to a Scotch distillery. I've
Yes.
only
I'd
been
like to go
we've only
there
been to
as
Ireland.
well.
Well, why would you have been to a Scotch distillery? They only make Scotch in Scotland.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean yes, that's my point. I more meant Scotch as an adjective of the nationality rather than the whiskey, as opposed to an Irish distillery. Also, fun fact: an Irish single malt is actually very uncommon because traditionally malted barley was too expensive for Irish distillers to buy because Ireland's always been extremely poor for colonization reasons. And so they use traditionally half malted barley and half unmalted barley. And so a single malt, which means all of their mash bill has been malted, is actually somewhat rare.
Anyway, go to
I wanted
Ireland.
to tell you this. I just hope that you know. I wanted to tell you to shut the fuck up like 3 times, but I stopped myself because it's your birthday.
I know, honestly, I was
Also,
not even
everything
going to
that
tell
you're
that
saying
story,
is
but I
correct,
thought people
but still.
might enjoy it, and it's my birthday, so we're doing it.
Basically, long story short, we're ignoring Chris since we can't tell him to shut up. And go to Ireland because that's great, but also just go take the fucking whatever the hell day trip they've got out there up to Northern Ireland to go to Giant's Causeway, but like ask for Podrick because he'll give you the real shit on what the troubles were like. Anyway,
Also, do it while you can, because that's just going to close down if Brexit actually happens.
womp womp. Anyway, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
A Star
More
War.
drinking, actually. You could ask us what we're drinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate.
Kristen, what are we drinking?
Oh,
Oh
Kate,
my-
you're drinking the same thing as Dad.
I am. This is the only whiskey I like
Okay.
because it
I'm
has
proud
been
of you.
distilled many times.
It's lighter.
We're drinking something that you would yoink from us. Miranda's gonna talk about
Yes,
it.
yes,
Okie
yes.
dokie, folks. So we are drinking.
Love it.
Oh, God. It smells good. No, I would not say it smells good if it smells like gin.
Nice.
Like the first hit I got was like of Pinot. So
Ooh.
yeah, we are drinking a sour from Breakside Brewery,
Ooh.
which I'm sure we've had on the pod several times before. It's a local Portland brewery, and it's foaming up, so we're going to be careful with it.
I fucking love sours, as y'all know.
It is a sour that has been aged in former gin and Pinot Noir casks. It's the Breakside Ziggurat. For this blend, we selected 13 casks from our wood cellar with the goal of producing a summery, Brett-forward beer with vivid herbal undertones. The majority of the barrels contain a spontaneously fermented wheat beer that spent its entire life cycle in wood. Rounding it out are some of our favorite former gin and Pinot Noir casks, many that have been in our barrel program for over 5 years.
Oh my god.
I
So
know, it's like your dream beer, Mom.
fucking
We've had
give
this
it to
bad
me.
boy in the fridge for a couple months now.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
wow.
had a bunch of them. I can't remember if we had them on the pod or not. But there were different ones
Mm-hmm.
that were finished in different barrels and were different beers to begin with, and blah 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 blah.
Well,
We
it's
also
sour
have-
season, so
Yes, we also have
Mm.
the Rainier for later, but we're gonna try this.
that sounds so good. I really tell me if it's good because I want it.
That was great. That was like a gong of like drinking that just happened.
was
when
beautiful.
you hit your boom.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. That's
Okay.
kind of unlike anything I've ever had. I've had sours finished in peanut barrels before, but never with that mix of like gin in there. That is actually
Ah.
really, really interesting and really well rounded.
Yeah, the
I would
gin
say.
isn't too
Yeah.
strong.
But it definitely tastes botanical. Like you
Ooh.
definitely get that.
Those are those herbal undertones.
Oh my god. All
Herbal
that is like my
undertones.
catnip.
I know. I was like, Kate's gonna fucking fly here and steal our glasses and then fly back.
Yeah. Sorry,
Also
guys.
Take her to the sour.
Just take me to it.
This is true.
Okay, sorry, Chris. I'm going now. To
Well, we have to pack.
Drop
No.
me in the sour. Welcome
Oh
to
my
Kristen Sings on
God.
the pod.
wait, Chris, did you say what the fuck we read this week? I wasn't listening to you when
I
you were
haven't.
talking.
No, we went straight into the drinking.
Okay,
Because
well-
it's my birthday.
I was not listening to you at all. Could you say what
I
we're
mean-
reading?
How's today different from every other day? We're reading this week.
Why are you
Most
allowed to be mean to
Wanted
me?
by Ray Carson.
Rude.
Reading chapter 11 through 22, actually, despite the fact that the outline says 10 through 22.
Listen, I can't count, and also, I may or may not wish that pork chop would poop on you.
Fair. TBH.
Anyway,
We're reading Most Wanted by Ray Carson. We finished the book this week. Chapter 2 is the end of the book.
chapter 2 is the end of the book. Yes.
Chapter 2 is the end of the book. Jeez, we're
It's a
on
very
track,
short
honestly.
book.
This is exactly what the people expect from us. So glad to be living up to expectations.
Oh my god.
Chapter 22 is the end of the book. And so we just want to talk about a little bit about characterization today.
And other stuff, and it's for me to cry about Sulo at the end because
Poor Sulo.
my little baby.
Poor Sulo. You
Oh
just
my-
knew he was going to die the whole time, and yet you still weren't ready.
I really did. Like as soon as I met him, I was like, "Oh, this kid's gonna die." Anyway, we'll get to it. We'll get to him.
The content you've grown to loathe and disgust. Us.
Yet you keep coming back for more.
So, I don't know why.
Alrighty.
So the first thing we wanted to talk about, I'll launch us in.
Do you have to keep talking?
Well, nobody else
I
seemed
was-
to want to.
I literally was about to. Oh my god. Is it not your birthday yet?
No,
Shit.
still my birthday.
Well, for a little less than 2 more hours on the East Coast, thank the Lord.
Is that what time it is? Damn.
I said what I said. Anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about, because I'm pretty sure I put this point on the outline, so you can something by something.
Does
Is
that
that
count?
I didn't say it. You said I shouldn't say it.
Going to say kiss my face.
Yeah.
Guess she wasn't.
Anyway, so
It's like the audio version of just like putting her hand right in front of my face, being like, "Not touching, can't get mad."
You're just-
That's the point, Chris. That's why she said it.
Chris-
Thanks, Kristen.
Chris just
That's
lost-
the point. .jpg.
Chris just lost the game, so it's fine. I literally just went over and was like, circle. Anyway, so if you're a 90s kid, you remember this. The first thing I want to talk about is what constitutes loyalty for Han and Qi'ra, because, of course, in Star Wars, you have a lot of your characters who are on the rebellion or the resistance side, and they're incredibly selfless, and they're all in terms of, like, having a cause. Harrison Dula comes to mind, especially right now, because Alphabet Squadron by Alexander Freed just came out. Super self-sacrificing. And of course you have the Darksiders who are, they've got their motivations and stuff, but they're just kind of evil and ready to literally stab each other in the back whenever they have the opportunity to gain even more evil murder power. But Han and Qi'ra, at least at this point in their lives, and maybe Han a little bit later in his life too, because Han is Han, fall, I guess, a little bit more in this gray area. And so I wanted to talk about what exactly is their attachment, I guess, to the White Worms, to each other, and also Sulo, and how their definitions of, like, what loyalty is, how those are different from other people in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Han is such a soft baby still here. He, like, wants things to be good and people to be, I mean, I'm using people in the broadest sense.
Yes.
He just, like, wants everybody to be good, and he wants to believe, like, the good in everybody. But also, like, he's not a fucking idiot. So it's funny because I was just thinking that, but then I was like, wait, we literally talked about on the first episode of this that, like, Han is the one that has to tell Qi'ra that Proxima doesn't give one single fuck about him, about her. But he's also just, like, still, I feel like he has a problem believing that about, like, people he has deemed good in his mind.
Yes.
Like, Tool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Kate, I think you really hit the nail on the head in saying that a lot of other characters that we see in Star Wars are loyal to some kind of ideology or to some kind of cause. Obviously, we spent a lot of time with folks in the rebellion and in the resistance, and so far, and by so far I mean through the entirety of this book, we don't necessarily see that from Han and Qi'ra. I think more than anything, they're kind of loyal to each other and to Sulo. They don't really have enough faith in the White Worms to be truly loyal to that. I think Qi'ra kind of sees a lot of things in an ambitious way, and, like, she's looking out for herself. She's trying to get power. She's trying to get influence. So I think that her vision of loyalty in that sense might just be a little warped.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a self-serving loyalty. Like, if I'm loyal to the White Worms, I can gain power and influence.
Totally.
And
yes.
it's different than the loyalty she has for Han that we see when she decides to go back to Corellia and Lady Proxima and not fuck off to Dagobah, whatever, with Genra.
Yes, totally. Yeah, I think loyalty, or at least appearing to be loyal for Qi'ra, is more of a tool right now because, a tool. Because like she is. Ugh, I hate quoting Beckett because he's the worst Star Wars character of all time. But she's a survivor, right? She's doing what it takes to not get dead.
You're not quoting Beckett. You're quoting Destiny's Child. It's fine.
There you go.
That's so good. Okay, I'll take that. But I think you're exactly right about Han too. That I think he's a pragmatist about most things until I think he thinks so much of the fact that he is charming and he is lucky and people do like him that he thinks that once he's won somebody over that's probably it. Like, oh, this person likes me. How could they be bad? And I think that gets him in trouble, obviously, like a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, Qi'ra, I think, definitely has, like, almost a Sith notion of loyalty for everybody except Han at the beginning, and then at the end for Han too. By the end, I don't mean of this book, but I mean of what we know of Qi'ra so far, and by that I mean the end of Solo.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, she betrays him for a Sith Lord in Darth Maul.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, Chris, you're saying that Qi'ra is Snoke.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Glad we cleared that up. Thank you.
Yes.
By the way,
absolutely.
did you guys see my dumbass tweet last night where I said, what if Padme's Snoke? I was really proud of it.
That's beautiful.
That's great. I missed that. I'm gonna have to go
That's-
back and.
You're going to have to go back. It got some good traction.
That's
People were really
incredible.
annoyed, I think.
That's fucking incredible content, and I love you.
But yeah, and so Qi'ra does have this self-centeredness about her that never really goes away.
It's self-preservation.
Self-preservation,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I don't mean self-centered as like denigrating. Like,
Yeah.
she's looking out for number one because she knows nobody else will.
Right. Yeah. I want to talk next episode about quote unquote likable female characters.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll get to that because I've got a big old soapbox for me to stand on because I'm very short, but I have a lot of things to say, much like Amelia Clark.
I was gonna say you and Amelia Clark share that soapbox because you're both small.
We're the women of this podcast are unlikable and unlistenable.
It's true.
That's correct.
It's what I hear. It's what they say.
My goodness.
And so, looking at Han's loyalty, and Han is like the patron saint of loyalty in Star Wars, right? Because, I mean, you have the big one of him coming back to the Death Star and never abandoning the rebellion, despite saying he's going, like, threatening to get attention repeatedly.
It's true. Chewie.
And Chewie, yeah. How much did that last paragraph of the book break your heart? Not break your heart, but like just like warm your heart.
It was
break and warm your heart.
I know it was a lot of
Just like
levels.
break it and then throw it on the fire.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds like it's bad, but alright. Like gently lay in a blanket by the fire, Chris. Is this what I think you want to say? No.
Just break it and swaddle it.
Great. Yeah, no. I love that bit about like you just need that one person in the entire galaxy, and it's just like it's always Chewie.
I mean, it harkens back to in Solo. The last thing that Qi'ra says to Han is, "Go help Chewbacca. He needs you, and you need him."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Han's a big old softie. That's
That's true.
That's what I got out of this book.
God, it's so accurate. But what you're saying about what you were saying about how Qi'ra thinks about Han, I mean, honestly, at first, I think she also was just like, what am I getting out of this guy? Or how am I gonna, prove that I am not a fucking numbskull like this idiot boy so I can get a fucking promotion because I need food and to be more influential in this tiny, shitty Corellian gang. But yeah, no, that bit where, Han comes back for her, just fucking, that was heartbreaking. Like, she was like, no one's ever done that before. And Han's the only one who ever comes back for Qi'ra, honestly. Like, he does in Solo, he does it here. Like, it's only him. Like, nobody else gives a flying fuck about her.
Mm-hmm. And I think that kind of is something that, like, has really formed, like we were talking about earlier, how she approaches loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
It's because until she meets Han, she's never had anything like that.
Nope.
It's like she grew up in the fucking bottom. She joined the Wormies.
Correct.
The little guys.
The little guys.
Oh my God.
Where like nobody really cared about her because she was just an asset. She was just another little sewer rat. And, she lived her whole life until now, like without anybody else to look out for her, without anybody she could rely on. So when Han comes in, it's just like this huge shift.
Mm-hmm.
In how she feels about other people, maybe. I don't know. She definitely caught feels for him. That's what I want to get at here with this
Oh,
point.
yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely true. Also, I really liked how Han and Qi'ra both got really squeaked out by Genra calling Rue, her Wookiee pilot, an asset. They were just both like, this is a person, like you can't just I like that a lot. And just like, I don't know. again, like Han is, I think, at least at this stage in his life, very much always about, you know, he might not like you, but more often than not, he'll respect you because you were a breathing thing. Whereas like Qi'ra's never actually, I don't think, like seen that. Like, no, she's never met someone like that.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
and she seems to only give a shit about people that like are in power, as we talked about.
Right.
I also think it's funny that like in the beginning where Kira's like, I just don't understand what the fuck Han's doing. Like, he's must be making friends with all these people to like get power, but also she's like, but also he's like nice to them. I don't understand. I just think that's like very telling of her and where she's at when
Absolutely.
they start forming that relationship.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite parts of the book, where she's trying to like logic and strategize out Han's like choices, and of course Han's choices are based on it seems fine. It's so great. It's just like it's and it encapsulates them, and particularly it encapsulates him, because Leia does similar. Well, no, because Leia just kind of immediately realizes that he's a fucking dumbass. But
oh, Leia, nothing gets past that woman.
but like it's she's Kira's almost the only person to ever overestimate Han.
Yes. Oh my god, I love that. That is so fucking true.
It's also very rude, but extremely true.
Have you met this idiot? Like,
Yes.
Yes.
oh my god, what a numbnut. I
Yeah,
love
I mean,
him
like
so
literally,
much.
like who else? So like I'm thinking about it.
No, I'm thinking very hard about it, and it's just like,
What was the second time?
That's definitely honestly, Contra Club definitely overestimated Han's ability to put him back,
oh my
as did the Guavians.
Oh my god. Guys, watch Star Wars Resistance only because the Guavian Death Gang actually shows up for a hot second. It's really funny. All right. I think we've beat this topic to death, yeah? All right.
As only we can.
All right. So, let's talk more about Qi'ra, because she's a fascinating character. I just wanted to talk at least very briefly. I can't talk right now, which is great for podcasting, about about Qi'ra's female role models, who are all kind of fucking terrible. So we know that Qi'ra didn't have parents, or she didn't have a mom, or she did, but her mom's somewhere. I don't know, not in her life. And
Qi'ra just appeared one day.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Like the midichlorians.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Kira's
Qi'ra
mom
doesn't
and
have a
Anakin's
belly
dad are the
button.
same person.
Oh my god! I'm very upset with all of this. Jesus Christ. Anyway, and Jesus. And we don't know a whole lot about her early life in the silo, besides that it fucking sucked. But we do know that she has been raised is a generous word, but we're gonna go with it.
Weird.
She has been kept alive for a lot of her life by Lady Proxima. And of course, we see her kind of taking an interest. I guess it's a mutual interest, honestly, between her and Genra, the engineer. So I just want to talk about those two, and whoever wrote this last line on the outline. Carry forth, I suppose. You can start us off.
So, kind of building on like a lot of Kira's traits that we've already talked about on this episode, and what you were kind of starting to talk about, her female role models are extremely problematic.
Yep.
Like, she's looking up to these like self-serving, like gang leaders, basically. He like wants an Imperial defector who's like really brilliant and talented, but is just like, what if I sold this for 1 billion credits and then let you guys fuck off and probably get killed? I don't really care that much. I'm gonna go fuck off to the Outer Rim. And then Lady Proxima is just like literally this shitty ass slug who doesn't give a fuck about anybody or anything, and all she wants is power and influence on like her tiny little planet, and Kira's like, I'd really like this for myself one day.
I know.
It's like the people that these women are like so shitty, and she looks up to them so much, and she's like, this is what I want my future to be. I want to mold myself after them. And
But
it's like,
yeah,
honey, no.
I know. And it's like, it's hard because she literally doesn't know anything else, but also it's just like, I don't know. I think children are generally instilled with a basic sense of right and wrong. Like, whether by parents or parental figures or osmosis or some goddamn shit. But
Children are also assholes, though. to be
children...
Yeah, but like Han is
Suck.
fine. Han's got some
It's true.
morals.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, a prime example of that is Han being like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt Rizzo. Like, can you just like, I'm just gonna like kind of grab him and we can tie him up and shove him in a closet and it'll be fine." Meanwhile, Qi'ra, wait, you just hit him in the head with a wrench. Yeah, the wrench was just sitting there. We're gonna tie him up.
Doing anything.
I know, like, you weren't doing your job, so I guess I'll do it for you because you suck.
Reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, I would also say that Qi'ra has also never, absolutely, like, the fact that these are her only two female role models in her entire life that we know of
Yeah, fucking
is problematic
sucks.
in and of itself. But also the fact that she's never encountered somebody in a position of power who got there in what we would consider a positive moral way.
In
Yeah.
the Empire? In my empire?
Because, like, you look at someone like Leia, who, like, obviously...
Female role models galore in
female
Star
role
Wars
models
terms.
galore, and also both female role models and positive male role models, too. Like, because Bail, obviously, being the big one that I'm thinking of.
Best stat ever.
Bale is the only man that we listen to on this podcast.
Bitch, you right.
Not wrong.
But yeah, no, it's very interesting. Just because, of course, we have the whole dead mom in Star Wars problem, and we also have the no female characters in Star Wars problem. So here we are with this. I think though at least one positive thing I think about Ray Carson's writing, not that it's like negative on her that like there are no alive moms or women in Star Wars because she is one person writing one story in a Star Wars. But I think she does a good job of showing realistically like what becomes of a person when this is all they have. You know, like Qi'ra again like falls into this weird gray area of I would like to stay alive. These are the resources I have. I mean, they are resources to her, even though she doesn't have any leverage on them.
Like they don't have their like regular needs taken care of. Like their hierarchy, I feel like it's hard for us to be like they should be better people when like they literally don't have food to eat.
Yes.
Or like places to stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, what I know there's a hierarchy of needs. I'm forgetting what it's actually called right now.
Maslow's
Maslow's
Thank
hierarchy
you.
of needs.
I
You
talked
were
about this
there.
in therapy recently, but it's gone now.
It's fine.
But so it's like, it's much. I don't want to say something dumb, but it's understandable that they would want to get those things met first, and like once they are in an okay place of having those things, it makes sense that they wouldn't know what the fuck the quote unquote right thing to do is.
Yeah, totally. What do you think that's actually useful does she learn from these people? And what does she learn that she immediately throws out?
I mean, I think she learns how to climb to the top. And she, she's very good at like thinking on her feet. Even if she doesn't believe so, she like can come up with pretty detailed plans and like paths forward in a way that, is a little self-serving, just to hit that again.
She's good at like picking up on on like not being reactionary and like how being reactionary can be dangerous. 'Cause she like immediately chastises herself for being like, why did I let that little ensign like get under my skin?
Definitely.
Like, getting mad at herself for that when I was like, bitch, she was fucking rude to you. I
Sure.
get it.
Sure was.
I also was angry.
Oh god, that guy was so fucking gross. I did not enjoy that.
I like how she like smacked him down though.
I know, that was beautiful. It was grade A, sick burn. That was, yeah, no. Apply cool water to burned area, etc.
Alert the burn ward. But no, I mean, I think also just she does learn not just to make a plan, but to like have backup plans. I think,
so
from
many.
Because like, you know, you
So
look
many
at
backups.
Genra as, you know, the first plan obviously didn't go very well, and part of the reason it didn't entirely collapse is admittedly due to Han and Qi'ra, but also and Sulo, but also like she had backup plans. She had people on the ground to help her. She had Rue presumably in place to do something before he got captured.
Definitely.
Also, just like, I love how much Han does not plan in this, because like we think about when we see Han and Leia together for the first time, and she's like, what was your fucking plan for getting out of here, you dumb fucking idiot? And he's like, what? Who has a plan?
That is not my specialty.
He's the brain, sweetheart.
Also, one thing, and I say this jokingly, but it's also true. One thing that she does not take from Lady Proxima is her love of sewers, and like
Nice.
jokingly, because another favorite part of this book was when they were like, "Oh, what's that smell?"
Oh, God,
it's
yes.
the sewer, but we don't smell like that.
I think we
I
do.
think we do.
I know. That was so funny, but also made me cry a little bit. It was so
But
sad.
she sees Proxima, you know, both literally and figuratively, like kind of settling for her position, and like you know, settling literally because she likes the sewers and Grindelids need dark or whatever, but also figuratively, like Proxima's a small player, and she may not have known that going into this book, but she certainly knows it coming out, and that's kind of inhabits her role.
Yeah, I was re-listening to the last episode to prep for this one, and the bit where I was like, "Oh, Proxima definitely like underbid on purpose," and then it becomes very clear, no.
No, Proxima's just mad dumb.
Which is
And
great.
poor.
All of the above.
Yeah,
are true.
well, and that's another thing about like Qi'ra being really good and not like revealing all of her cards at once. She was like, "Oh, don't worry, Proxima. I like negotiated it so that you'd get like 0.5%." And Proxima's like, "Well, the fuck? Like, what?" And she's like, "Oh, well, it's this much money." And she's like, "Oh, fuck me, right? Never mind."
I know, it was so good. Oh my god. But also one of the reasons why I would love more Qi'ra stories is because I kind of want to know how she treats the people who are under her, because I think she knows how she herself doesn't like being treated. But also, you know, it's like, how do you, if this is the path you wanted to take, like, how do you show people that you kind of respect that they are alive, while also, like, you know, maintaining a firm grip on your organization.
Yeah, and I think that's something like I'd be really interested to see, because last episode I touched on kind of how she, when she went into the original bidding meeting situation, she was like, "Oh, I want to train other people to be, you know, like resourceful and like think on their feet." What's the word?
Be a mentor?
Yeah, she wanted to be a mentor, and I think it starts with an I. It's not important, but I would love to see if, like, when she actually has influence over people, that's something she actually sticks to and follows up on.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
If she remembers where she was as
I know.
a literal shit goblin.
I want to see
I'm
more
also-
Qi'ra so that we can see more Spider Mall.
All of the above.
Well, and I was also gonna say I'm simultaneously very very much want to see this and very much don't want to see this because they're not going to do it right.
Yeah.
But I want to see how Qi'ra walks that line of not only being a good boss versus an effective boss, but also while doing that while working under Maul, who in addition to being cuckoo bananas, also has never actually encountered women in a substantive role.
A Star War.
Like I said, that's why I'm like, I want this, but I also don't want anybody associated with Star Wars to do it.
Yeah, I know. We're
Ray
gonna.
Carson could do it. I trust Ray Carson to do
Oh
it.
fuck yeah. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this also. Next episode.
But for real though, like what women has Maul interacted with? Ahsoka, who not impressed,
No.
and Sabine, who
And Hera,
eh,
because that didn't get rapey.
yeah.
Everything's fine. Nothing is ever
La,
weird in
la.
Star Wars. They've always just done a regular job of making things normal and stuff.
La 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 la. All right, Chris. Next point is yours. You talk about that. Go.
Yeah, I want to talk about Han's opinions on droids because they change very much from the beginning of this book to the Han that we see in A New Hope. Like the beginning of this book, he greatly respects Tool as a being, as an individual, as someone with, you know, obviously sentience, but who is in control of his own destiny. And you look at Han in A New Hope, and kind of throughout the rest of what we know about Han, he's very dismissive of droids, and part of that's because he's dealing with 3PO, and that's fair. And frankly, a big part of that's probably because he's dealing with 3PO.
Yes.
But-
but even like,
but
you
it's
know,
different.
even the Han that we see in Last Shot, who is not that far removed from the original trilogy, you know, he hears the words droid Gotra, and he's like, excuse the fuck out of me, set on fire, kill it, kill it, kill it.
And how he treats L3 too. He doesn't dislike L3, but he doesn't get it.
But you know, he's just like, what the fuck is this shit? Definitely. Yeah, she starts going around about droid rights, and he's just like, that little vein in his eye just starts ticking. Definitely.
Yeah, and so it's interesting, and I want to talk a little bit about it because, especially since, you know, Kira's kind of thinking about him as they're leaving the engineer's ship, about how, like, you know, he sees everybody as, I don't remember the exact quote, so I'm going to butcher it, but it's something along the lines of he sees everybody as equal and of value.
Yes, that's exactly the phrase of everyone is valuable because they're
in
a person.
Their existence.
Yes, exactly.
And he definitely doesn't think that specifically of droids as he gets older. And part of it, I do think, and I swear I'm going to stop talking at some point, but part of it I do think is because Tool...
A likely tale.
Yeah, right. Because Tool kind of goes so cold and calculating. But that's also, like, that's not very much to turn him, you know? So I wanted to talk about that.
I actually think it might be, though. Marina, I'll let you talk first.
Yeah, I think it was really weird to read this book and see Han as kind of naive.
Yes.
So
I mean, he's an idiot in like later appearances, but he's definitely not naive.
yeah, like he's in later appearances, he's seen some shit, but this is the earliest I think we've seen him. And it's like his first time
Yes.
off the planet. He's just a fresh babe, and you know, we've talked about it a lot. Like, he's somebody, like you said, who sees value in everybody, in all beings, and he'll stop and give anybody some cookies. And I think this is the first time that there's been somebody who, like, he's respected and, like, felt some kind of, like, friendly-ish connection, not like a bad connection with, who has kind of said or done something that's gone against what he thought of them. And so, like, he sees Tool as, like, his buddy who, like, helps out, like, he's a source, and, you know, he trusted Han enough to throw the hollow cube, and, like, he was really concerned about Tool when they got back to wherever, and, like, we're bringing him back to life. And then Tool's like, kill them all.
I know.
And
Tool
Han's
is
like,
like,
wait,
when
wait,
the
wait, wait,
revolution comes, you may live.
He's like,
I
wait,
know.
what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, especially when he's just like at the very very end where he's just like, I have a reward for Sulo. And Han's just like, excuse the fuck out of me. I was here too. I want credit. I participated in the group project.
He gets a participation trophy.
I know.
The first in a long line of jobs that Han will not get paid for.
Oh, it's so fucking true. Yeah, no, I think it kind of goes back to honestly what I was saying earlier about how Han likes to cultivate personal relationships and he really relies on his charm and he believes in it as much as he believes in, you know, taking other people at their word. And I think like such a betrayal at such a young age, I think that was formative for him. I don't know if he's ever, I mean, when you're 18, have you experienced actual real ice cold betrayal before? What's colder than cold? Betrayal. Which is the best.
Honestly, the best tweet I've ever
The
seen.
best tweet.
When Austin was asking me what my favorite tweet was ever, it's that one.
It's a good one.
Christopher.
Oh, sorry. I'm lamenting. A friend of mine asked, in conversation, what is everyone's favorite tweet ever? And I couldn't think of one specifically. And now I know what it is. It's somebody just tweeted, Andre 3000, what's cooler than being cool? Me. Ice cold? No. Betrayal.
It's so good. Sorry.
That is my favorite tweet ever.
It's a good one. But like, you know, I mean, when you're, again, like when you're 18, like, do you even know what betrayal is? Like, I mean, sure, Han has had a harder life, like life in childhood than most, but like, I feel like what he has experienced in terms of betrayal has been like the white worm version of, you know, getting stabbed in the back in middle school. Like, somebody told Lady Proxima on me, and then I had to go sit in the sinkhole or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's still very much in his formative years. Like, his brain isn't developed. And, like,
Yeah.
Sure, he's treating, you know, this droid turning out to be a tool. Like I did when I was 5 years old and, like, didn't like mashed potatoes. But, like, he just carries that with him forever. And it's like, my dude, have you considered that this was one potato?
Potato.
Like, great.
I have a potato.
It's great. No, but honestly, I think I definitely think that's true. I had a thought before Chris just held. No, it's not even you. It's before Chris held up his potato.
I won't apologize for that.
It's your birthday potato.
It's gone. Somebody else say something.
Sorry.
Oh. Somebody say something besides potato.
Oh my god.
I hate every single one of you.
Causes get people killed is what's next on the outline, which I think is true. Who wrote this on the outline? Did you, Dad?
Did I?
Oh,
Or was
maybe
it-
that was a
I
question.
think it might have been me, and then I'm like, I don't know. Oh. Okay. So this his whole thing about like people like believing in things, like Tool believing in the droid Qu'ra, or you know Sulo believing in like the Force or anything else, is that if you believe in anything with any kind of seriousness and you're not looking out for either yourself or those closest to you, then you're gonna get dead. Which goes a long way also, you know, in terms of, you know, speaking of Han's formative years and his like formative beliefs, goes a long way toward explaining why he just for the longest time just refuses to join the rebellion. And it seems like he's offered multiple entry points. You know, we see Enfys Nest and Solo saying you should join us because you have real leadership skills, and he's like, no, I'm gonna take my hyperfuel and fuck off, bye. And you know, they talk about the rebellion all of the time in A New Hope, and he's just like, can I just can I just have my bins and bins and bins of credits instead? So
And the answer is always no.
No
It's
money
true.
for Han Solo at this time.
To be fair, he seems very bad at his job.
hey, even he gets bored sometimes, Kristen.
Like, honestly, if there's one thing that's consistent about Han throughout the series, it seems like he's really bad at being a smuggler, TBH.
Great.
But he is a very fast pilot.
Zoom, zoom.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The only thing he's good at in his life is flying.
Doing zoomies around the galaxy.
He, like I said, he wants food and he wants to go fast. But yeah, no, I feel like Tool just kind of impressed upon him lots of just really fucking sad life lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and he's not wrong about causes getting people killed. Like,
No,
that's,
I mean,
it's a very cynical point of view, but it's not wrong.
no,
It do be like that.
it's true.
That's
No,
what
it's
this
absolutely true.
whole Star Wars is about.
It's true. Also, as a sidebar, I really want to know how much Ray Carson and Daniel Jose Older spoke to each other in the process of writing their respective books, because both of them were kind of tie-ins to Solo. They both came out around the time that the movie dropped. And you know, the topic of droids has a whole lot of overlap between the two. Obviously, it's like really, really, really central in Last Shot, but it's also extremely present here, and I just kind of wonder, like,
That's a good
What?
question, Mom.
Yeah. Ray
No.
Carson, if you're listening, hit us up. Did you talk to DJ Older at all as you were writing?
Also-
Or was it just kind of a coincidence?
also,
I
if
feel
you're
like you
listening,
talked, right? Sorry, go ahead.
We're sorry.
also, I know, we're so sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that just goes without saying. We should start every episode with that.
Welcome
If
to
you're
episode
listening,
92.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to episode 92. We're very sorry.
They have to, right? Because like the droid Gotra being such prominent players in both. I mean, it's theoretically it could have been the story group carrying
right.
water, but
Right. So, I don't know, it's a question. Have we heard of the droid Gotra in other places besides this in terms of books that were published before these two?
I don't believe so. No,
No.
I'm not positive. I can check that as you keep talking.
Okay. Well, I mean, certainly we've never been so early in the timeline that the droid Gotra barely fucking exists. So that's interesting. Also, Han consistently just like not knowing how to say Gotra was my favorite thing.
The droid gobble.
I know the droid Gator at one point. Oh my god, it was so good. I mean, Ray Carson very good at coming up with words to start with G. I'm very proud of her.
You had the dictionary open.
So true.
I mean, I often don't.
Fair enough. Hey, Kate. Do you want to talk about how sad you are?
I'm so fucking sad, guys.
I'm so sad about Sulo.
I'm so sad. All right, so I enjoyed this book a lot, and for many reasons, but in no small part because Ray Carson's like secondary characters, or you know, at least the ones that she made up for the purposes of this book, are so fucking great, and they're like really fleshed out. I think they're really unique. I loved so many of them, but probably my two favorite like side characters are Old Man Paolo, because he's just this little fucking weird cockroach who just wants to eat a cookie. And
Aren't we all?
I know. I too am a cockroach of a human being who wants to eat things and take a nap. So
It's very relatable.
I know, it legitimately was. And he was like, I don't know, there's something like everyone was so afraid of him, and like to be fair, we didn't see him actually like murder anything. Like I don't know how dangerous he actually like is, but I thought he was adorable, and which is a strange thing to say about a character like him, but I loved him a lot, and I wanted to see more of him, but you know, he was in the story as much as he needed to be. But oh my god, Sulo, this precious baby angel, as soon as I met him, like I said at the top of the episode, I knew he was gonna fucking die, and I was just kind of like, at first I was kind of just like waiting for it, and then I got into it, and I was like, oh, Sulo, you're so cute. That little bit where Kira's like, where Sulo grins at her, except he can't really do that because of his anatomy.
Tiny
'cause
mouth.
he has a tiny little mouth, and Kira's just like, this is, like, no offense, but your face is hilarious. you know? And I was just like, oh, sweet baby angel. Then he got dead. And I was just like, oh no. Like, I saw this coming for 300 pages, and yet I still want to lie on the floor and cry about it because he's so fucking cute.
Not to dismiss your very real feelings about Sulo, but can I ask a shitpost of a question? I asked it earlier, but Kristen was playing with the controls on our mixer and turned our thing down so you couldn't hear me ask it.
Let me live.
Oh, God. Yes, Miranda.
Is Paolo actually... Okay, this is a two-part question. Is he actually like a cockroach-type character, one? And two, if so, do we think he would survive Corellia getting blown up by the Death Star?
Wait, you mean...
When you say a cockroach type question, do you mean like
giant
giant cockroach in human skin like Men in Black?
Like, okay, I was thinking
like
Kafka?
Like a cockroach. Cockroaches survive fucking everything. You can't kill them.
Thank you.
Cockroaches will survive the apocalypse. Could old man Paolo survive the Death Star?
Okay. What I'm asking is, are you saying he's cockroach shaped or has cockroach like qualities?
Exactly.
Well, you described him
Thank
as a
you, Kate.
cockroach.
I believe Kate's question still stands.
You're still not answering my question.
I don't know the answer to your question. You're the one who called him a cockroach. Could he survive the Death Star?
Kate and Chris come out with the two cultural touchstones. Chris says, like Men in Black, and then Kate goes after, or like in Kafka.
Honestly, it's funny because that reminds me of a time before we were even dating that Kate made a Shakespeare reference, followed by me very quickly making a Rush Hour reference.
It was meant to be.
It honestly, we're dumb that we didn't know then.
Oh,
They're both
God.
poetry, TBH.
Also, you did not answer my question.
Rush Hour is one of the greatest movies of the 90s at me.
Changed my mind. Well, we get a description of Paolo in the book. He is actually humanoid, so I was not picturing him as being cockroach shaped. But could he survive if Corellia was exploded by the Death Star? I'm gonna say no, because even cockroaches are made up of atoms.
But literally change our minds.
Okay,
We want to be convinced otherwise.
Yes.
Okay, so that can be a topic for the wrap up. Because this is... I could bullshit something about that for sure.
Oh my God,
She'll be
guys.
thinking about it for the next week, just like we all will. No, we won't.
Oh my God, y'all add us on Twitter if you would like more cockroach talk. Oh wait, Chris? Can I tell a side story about?
I don't know why you're asking.
Wait,
Because
if we tell a side story, well then we go into the outro because I want to talk about how I love the dogs.
Okay, yeah, talk about the dogs first, and then wait, no, it's about the vacuum cleaner last night.
Oh, yeah.
Can I tell it though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. You do it. It's great. All right, Kristen, you talk about things that are actually Star Wars first. Go.
Oh, I was just gonna say I love the dogs and that all dogs are good dogs and that they only have bad owners.
All dogs go to heaven.
And
It's true.
All dogs are good dogs, even if their entire head is their mouth.
Yes.
They just wanted a cookie and scritches, okay?
Also, if you've never seen how they filmed the hounds,
Oh, it's so good.
it's the fucking best thing. And the dogs are such soft, beautiful babies, and I love them so much. Go
It's
look
so
it
good.
I don't know
up.
that I've seen it.
It's so
Wait, like they filmed what hounds?
in Solo. Sorry.
The dogs were in the movie?
Yeah, they were chasing them down
Oh
when
my
at the
God,
beginning.
I need to fucking
Oh my God.
I feel like Miranda's like never actually seen Solo. She's just been lying this
I
whole
saw it in
time.
theaters. It's on my calendar.
That's
from
the only.
last year.
Have you not seen it since then?
No.
Oh my fucking God!
a great film.
What
Okay,
if
it
we just rewatch it and then I mute it every time Beckett talks? Well, then you watch it again.
I love that. Wait,
Vastly
Wouldn't make it
improved.
worse, I'll say that.
I was about to say, can we get the cut of Solo with no Beckett?
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that so very much.
I would just want to put like a smiley face over his head and mute his audio. It would be better.
No, just put like the shit emoji over his head, and that would be accurate.
Yeah, it's fine.
I've got an idea.
Miranda has an idea, but she'll take it offline.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Oh.
Cool. Tell your
okay.
centipede story.
Oh, wait, hang on. The only other actual hashtag content related question I had was, so Sulu talks a lot about the Force, and praying to the Force and believing in the Force, and he definitely found the Church of the Force on Coruscant, even though it's like underground right now because all the Jedi are soup's dead. Do we think though that he's Force sensitive? Because there's one specific scene that made me kind of wonder.
Which scene was that?
So he is trying, I believe, to hotwire Rizzo's speeder. And Han's like, which wires do we pull? And Solo legitimately doesn't know. And he just kind of prays to the Force and then pulls at some stuff. And like, boom, it works.
I mean...
Is it because Han's around and he's lucky, or...
I'm going a hard no.
I'm going
Okay.
hard no. Because I think that's like the same kind of argument. That's basically the same argument that you would make for Han being Force sensitive.
Yeah, okay. And Han's definitely not because he's a knucklehead.
I think one could certainly make it, and like I feel like we've had similar conversations about Chirrut probably in the past. But I think there's a difference between being Force sensitive and something like Force adjacent and just like affected by the Force. Because like the thing about the Force is like the Force is not like God in the like Isaac Newton clockmaker like hypothesis.
Listen,
like,
I grew up very Catholic.
I know. Like
So
he's
I'm
not
stuck
like-
on this shit.
He's not like God in that he just sits back and watches you after he created you. Like the Force takes an active role in things, and that's I feel like fairly well established throughout Star Wars. And so like
Fair enough.
I'd be perfectly okay with the concept of the Force was like, I'm gonna give you a little nudge toward the blue wire or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that makes him Force sensitive.
Yeah.
I think the Force can work through somebody without somebody actually being Force sensitive.
Right, because he can't, like, I don't know. I guess there's a difference between, like, actually wielding it versus...
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think we've seen that a little bit, or like we've seen it addressed at least in other places in Star Wars. Like Maz, you know, she's like, I know the Force. It doesn't mean that she's like Force sensitive, a Force wielder, but she understands it enough to recognize it and like know that it's real.
Maz is such an interesting example because we don't know what she is.
That's
and
also
I
true.
have my own personal headcanon about that, I guess. I don't think it's a theory.
We
but
never are either. It's so annoying.
what?
I don't think we're ever going to learn more about Maz.
No.
I think Maz is forever going to be the magical storyteller.
I mean,
Maz.
I do too. I wish we knew more about her.
I wish that...
Settling union disputes.
It's true. I just wish that Lupita Nyong'o's character was actually a character, but never mind.
Yeah, that too.
Instead of being a
Blah.
magical Negro.
Blah. Blah.
All right, so my centipede story, and you can shut this off if you get grossed out by bugs. Next episode, we're wrapping up Most Wanted by Ray Carson, and you can send in your questions on Twitter or email or wherever the fuck else. So here's my centipede story since you turned it off. All right, so sidebar to talking about cockroaches literally at all. So last night we're packing and we're doing cleaning and stuff like that, and it's raining very hard outside, so it's like gross out. And also I'm not wearing my glasses. I swear all of these things are related. So Chris looks over at the wall in our living room, and all of a sudden he kind of just like jumps and does one of his shudders, which I'm very familiar with because my next question is, Chris, is it a bug?
I don't like bugs.
This happens a lot. And I don't have my glasses on, so I literally can't see that there's this like, it's probably inch long house centipede on the wall. He's pretty gross. I don't enjoy house
He was
centipedes.
longer than an inch long.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
His body was about an inch long.
His body was probably about an inch and a half.
Chris is literally exaggerating.
So
So
I've
there's
never exaggerated about the size of anything.
Thank you for making that joke because I couldn't.
oh my fucking god.
What do you want from me?
birthday.
I don't care. You're still
No
a
one
man.
cares. No one cares. All right, so I was just like, I couldn't see it, so I was like, are you gonna deal with this? Because I think I might hate house centipedes a little bit more than Chris. I'm not really afraid of bugs, but anything that has more than 8 legs, I start freaking out.
Too many legs, my folks.
Yes, it's true. So Chris is like, yeah, sure, I'll just like vacuum it up. And I'm like, okay. So he goes and gets the vacuum cleaner and takes off the hose attachment and just like sucks up the bastard. And he's just like, all right, well, I got it. And I was like, cool. I go to take a shower. About 10 minutes later, Chris comes in and I'm like, oh, did you want to like brush your teeth before bed? And he's just like, he like makes a sad little noise and I'm like, are you so freaked out by the bug? And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, I saw it moving around inside the vacuum cleaner. And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, I thought it was dead. And I was like, wait, did you think that by vacuuming up a bug it would just magically die? And he goes,
I stand by that.
he goes, well, I thought the force of the vacuum would kill it. And I'm like, Christopher, bugs live outside in nature where there is wind.
That's not how
Why?
this works.
That's not.
I
how
know,
this
like,
works.
why would they get dead from a fucking vacuum cleaner when you're just merely sucking them up a tube? There's plenty of room in that tube for the boy that was definitely only an inch long.
Boy.
Yes.
Side boy.
Whatever. It was gross, and we have a vacuum cleaner that is like one of those ones where you can like it's clear so you can see how full or empty it is, and that bitch was definitely like waddling around in there.
It would be really
Waddle.
weird if you could see it otherwise, Chris.
So anyway, Chris thinks that you can kill bugs with wind, and that is incorrect. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I have
Men
one
are idiots.
clarifying question.
Yes.
Chris, did you grow up using a Dyson vacuum?
No, I grew up with one of the fucking old school vacuums that had a vacuum bag in it at me.
Ooh, I love those.
Okay. Well, so then you
my
just
God.
have like a warped.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we also had a Kirby vacuum. You just have like you were used to things going in there and disappearing forever.
Correct.
So,
Okay, but he's like done this with like many a bug. His solution to bugs that he doesn't want to pick up, that I also don't want to pick up and throw out the window, is to vacuum them up. And he literally this entire time he thought they were dying, and I'm like, oh no, I thought you were.
I don't like to squish them.
I know, but I literally this entire time I thought you knew that they were still alive in there. I thought you just wanted them to like die a cruel death of starvation and dehydration, which
I mean that too.
that would be my style because I'm a sadistic asshole, but
Find you a
Well,
woman who will take care of the bugs for you.
this is true.
I don't like to squish bugs because if they're big enough, then you feel them squish and it's really disgusting. Or if you miss, then they can crawl on you. There's so many ways for it to go wrong.
I told Chris-
So right. You're so right.
What is
No,
wrong
but
with
then if you
fucking
put them
people?
outside, they will also crawl on you and you will implode.
well,
Yeah.
see,
Are you gonna try and pick up a house centipede with a piece of paper and put it outside? Really? Challenge that.
see,
No,
Challenge.
sir.
See, I also told him, well, if it's freaking you out, just like take the entire vacuum compartment and just like
You gotta
yeet
burn
it
the
off
house
the
down.
balcony.
You gotta burn down the whole apartment building.
I was like, just yeet the contents off the balcony. He's like, but it's like dark outside. What if it gets on me and I can't see it? And I'm like, oh my
Fucking
god.
I think I told the story on the pod, but Quinn woke me up in the middle of the night because he thought there was a spider in the bed, which there probably was because then I had a huge spider bite on me. But like I was so
no.
angry that he woke me up and like he shook out all the sheets and I was like, bitch, I am asleep. You turned the light on and then you took my blankets. It's not okay.
Oh
When
my
my
God.
parents moved after I graduated high school, and they moved to a new house, and my bedroom when I went home is now on like the basement floor, and
It's full of spiders.
yeah, and so like the first time I visited, there was like spiders, like the size of, I mean, you know, like now people who live in the woods are going to be like, that's not that big, but
Kristen, who lives in the woods,
Yes.
lived, grew up in the woods.
like not like fucking wolf spiders or something, but like really massive spiders that were much bigger than I was used to dealing with.
How big were they,
Probably-
Chris?
I would say the diameter of the spider was probably was definitely over an inch. The diameter of the spider's body.
Of the body? Or you're
No,
including the
body.
legs.
Not over
No,
an inch.
no, Kate. Do you remember this giant ass spider?
No.
Not this one specifically, but there was one that you saw.
Of course I don't remember. I didn't care.
Whatever. There were giant fucking spiders, and like. So I was like going to bed one night and I came out of the bathroom to brush my teeth and there's a giant fucking spider sitting next to my bed. And I just I froze. I couldn't deal with it. Like
my
I am
God.
willing to admit that at an age where I was in college, I absolutely went upstairs and made my parents kill it.
That's a
Absolutely.
big fucking mood, though. I would
Oh,
absolutely
ashamed.
do that.
Fucking God.
I do that now.
What is wrong with you people?
I had a friend over the other day, and when they went to leave, I was like, before you go, there's a fucking, like, bug on the wall in this room. Can you, like, take care of it?
I wish you guys could see the look I'm giving Miranda right now.
I-
okay.
Whatever. Me and Miranda are on the same page.
Yeah.
You guys are the worst.
Anyway, thanks for listening
No,
to
I'm
this.
gonna do the outro because it's your birthday. You can just sit there and make fun of me for it.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming to fucking Book Wars Pod story time.
Spider Ball edition.
Yeah, really, for real.
Is it ever not Spider Mall edition?
Oh
No, it's
my
every.
god.
Thank you. As we said, our next episode is going to be our wrap up of Most Wanted by Ray Carson. So if you have shit to talk to us about, we would love to hear from you. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and via email with those questions, all at Book Wars Pod on Twitter, etc., etc. Or you can find us on the Patreon Slack if you are Tashi Station Radio Patreon. Our next book is Dooku: Jedi Lost by Cavan Scott, which I'm super excited about.
It's Delray's / Penguin's first like audio only Star Wars thing. I think it's actually
there's
technically
quotes
by
around books. I do see that. Thank you.
No, it's fine. I think it's like Penguin Random House audio or whatever the fuck it's called. Technically speaking. It's gonna be great. Chris and I are gonna be listening to it on our road trip out to Colorado. So obviously this week you are getting this episode about Most Wanted. Next week you're getting the wrap up. The week after that we are trying to drop a bonus episode about Vader Immortal, which is the new VR thingy that they're doing. And then we're gonna see how long it takes me and Chris to like get settled in, get unpacked and shit. So there might be a little bit of a gap in content, but watch the Twitter for the latest updates on us screaming about moving.
I can shitpost some episodes while you're gone.
Yay.
Awesome.
I have an essay that I never wrote that I can put into a me screaming on the podcast form.
Why are you like this? In the meantime, please rate, review, and subscribe to the Book Wars Pod and the Tashi Station Radio Mega Feed, where all of the Tashi Station Radio podcasts get booped when they come out. It's great. And as I mentioned before, if you are a patron of Tashi Station Radio, you get access to our Patreon-only Slack where you can ask us questions and fun stuff like that. But you can only do that by donating to the Tashi Station Radio Patreon. It helps to cover our hosting and production costs, and it's great, and we love talking to you guys. So donate. I don't think it's very much money. I think it's like $1 or some shit, and you get to be on the Slack. So come hang out
literally
with us and come see everyone's pets, because that's the best channel on there.
It's true. It's literally $1 a month.
It's the best. If you'd like to donate to the Book Wars Pod directly, you can do so at coffee.com/bookwarspod. That's ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. Happy birthday, Chris, I guess. I'm Kristen. She's Miranda. She's Kate. Chris is probably like squeaking the table or squeaking a chair or something, because I told him not to do the outro. And that's
His
what he
potato
gets for his birthday.
is touching the table.
Potato.
He was not squeezing his potato.
Say bye, Dad.
Bye, Dad.
I quit.
Oh, there's a squirrel. Hi, squirrel.
Oh my god.
Hi, squirrel.
my
Look at him.
God.
Look how cute he is.
Kristen,
He's real cute, though,
we
Mom.
see that squirrel all the time.
I know, he's really cute, though.
What's his name?
No, we don't have a name for him. There are too many squirrels in our backyard. There are always like 10 out there if Ryder's not here. Ryder's a dog.
Oh,
What color is he?
He's gray.
Squirrel.
Wait.
Did you say squirrel colored?
Miranda.
Oh my god.
So, who likes a Star Wars?